Can you spot the issue? Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I did my first DC McFarlane video. I worked on the Batman. Not an overhaul, but I really like the final result. Check it out. Alright, back to Marvel Legends. I don't love this packaging. It makes me nervous about QC issues. Okay, let's start with Knull. The figure is a lot taller than I expected. Knull comes with an extra head and his sword. There's only one issue. My Knull came with 2 left feet. This is my first time encountering an issue like this. Fortunately, it's not super obvious. Overall, I think this figure looks more impressive in person, but it definitely is a bit flat when it comes to the colors. Like the entire figure has the same dark gray all over. I'm mostly disappointed in the face. It almost looks like it's unpainted. So, let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. As you can probably tell, I'm more familiar with MCU side of things than the comic side when it comes to Marvel. Since I'm not too familiar with Knull, I did a community post asking you for advice. Here's what you suggested. A black wash on Knull, darken the armor, make Knull damaged and scuffed, drill holes on Knull's back, maybe not, give the fabric a nice matte finish, not that either, add details to the face, do what I did with Gore's face, dark grey in the deep crevices of the face, light grey all over the face and neck, panel line the teeth, add grey to his hair, and paint the red tendrils on the sword. It seems like the overall consensus is that Knull should be darker, and add a black wash to bring out the details on the face. Alrighty then. So, can I make it? Let's start with the armor. I'm going to try and make it darker by applying a dark gunmetal color over the armor pieces. I don't want the armor to have a matte finish. I want it to look slightly metallic or stone-like, to give it that heavy armor look. Let me test the color on his leg. The legs have this plastic sheen to it. This color should be able to dull it down a bit. Okay, it's not very obvious. Let me try it on his upper body. Oh yay, it's darkening. Great. Let me apply this to the rest of the armor. Can't forget the back. The overall issue is still there. There's not enough contrast on the figure. All the colors are kind of blending in into each other. So I'm going to mix myself a lighter grey color and apply it onto his skirt. This will not only mattify the texture, making it more fabric-like, this will also lighten the skirt, visually differentiating it from the rest of the armor. I'm also mostly only painting on the high points of the fabric, keeping the areas that are sunken in darker. Anything to further enhance the contrast. I'm also adding this color to the area around his waist too. I don't like the plastic sheen there. And the lighter color should make the armor stand out more. I'm gonna paint my figure based on these 2 reference images. I personally prefer a more matte look to my figures, especially on flesh tones or fabric. That is why you see me paint over figures with the same or similar colors, to make them matte and look more natural, at least in my opinion. That is why I'm applying the same grey over Knull's thighs and arms. I'm only applying a very thin layer. My goal isn't necessary to change the colors. I just want these areas to become matte. Now he's starting to look like a grey mummy. Okay, I'm still not satisfied with the skirt. It still looks a bit muddy, so I'm going to darken the creases with the black, giving it more dimension and more contrast. Alright, to further make each element stand out, I'm going to dry brush a bit of silver onto the armor pieces. This will give the armor that sculpt look, and also subtly give it a light outline, making each piece of armor stand out against the body. I do have to be careful though. I don't want them to look like white outlines. The silver is meant to be more subtle, only showing when the light hits it. The problem area in my opinion are his knees. This area looks so undefined. The thighs blend with the boots, so adding a bit of silver on the knee pads should add a bit of separation and fix that issue. Okay, here's what the body looks like so far. Look how the silver catches the light. It's so nice. I'm still not satisfied with the arms. I thought keeping the arms grey would make the armor stand out, but I don't love how the arms look at the moment. It confuses my brain. My brain cannot figure out what's happening with the arms. So I'm going to darken the arms so the bandages can stand out more. Oh look, it's already making a huge difference. The bandages are so much more defined this way already. According to the reference images, the bandages appear to be more grey than green, so I'm applying a thin layer of grey over them. I don't think that's working. Please don't judge. It looks very dull and muddy. Let me add a bit of silver to give these straps a bit of shine. I think this is the overall challenge of this figure. The colors are so similar in tones, they require all the visual tricks to differentiate the texture and contrast. I think the little bit of silver helped. Now the straps look like they're wrapping over the arms. The last thing I'm gonna fix is the belt. The belt is now one of the lightest elements on the figure. It's kinda grabbing the attention away from the rest of the figure, so I'm gonna darken it with a dark brown. Okay, time to work on the face. The sculpt is actually pretty cool. There's so much details. There's actually a bit of paint or print around the eyes, but it's barely noticeable. One of the things I noticed in all of Knull's images is that his eye sockets are always black, so I'm gonna do that first. It's no secret that I'm always nervous when working with black, so I always keep my brush damp so I can push it around and fix mistakes. This also allows the paint to seep into the crevices. Perfect for Knull's face. The only issue is that it's a bit hard to predict and hard to be precise. Here I am struggling with the mouth. I should have used a fine brush for the finer lines. I'm gonna do the same to the hair, running my damp brush over the hair so the black can seep into the lines. Knull's hair appears to be more grey than white. Alright, and to finish it off, I'm gonna rub a small amount of silver onto the hair to give it that healthy looking hair shine. Here's the finished head. It's not the cleanest paint job, but I think it kinda works, especially when compared to the original. It's like a completely different head. Hey, you can now support me on Patreon. I post quite regularly there, from behind the scenes updates to sneak peeks to video breakdowns. Top tier members will receive a DIY 3D mini poster every month. These mini posters look great by themselves, but even cooler next to other mini posters. I love making things, and this is my way to thank my supporters. The link to my Patreon is in the description box down below. Oh, can't forget the Necrosword. It's missing a bit of red, so I'm gonna fill them back in. This is surprisingly relaxing to do. Maybe it's because the shapes are so abstract, so the mistakes don't look like mistakes at all. Every stroke looks right. Ooh, that already looks so much better. Let me just seal the paint with a glossy varnish. This will also make them look slimier, more symbiote-like. I still find the overall sword too reflective. I want the red tendrils to stand out more. So I'm gonna rub a bit of black over the black areas to mattify them a bit. And I think this isn't necessary, but I want to add more depth to the tendrils. So I'm adding a bit of this pink color as highlights. Just a little bit here and there. Perfect. Now let's look at the before and after. Here's Knull all painted. That's a huge difference. The armor turns out looking lighter, but that's because it's reflecting light. The individual pieces also stand out now. There's just more depth and dimension to the entire figure. Let's take a closer look. The painted face looks so much better in every way. It's so much more menacing looking. Here's the other head. This one is less intense. The expression is more serious, and it went a bit softer with the paint. Figure that fits the expression better. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Which head do you prefer? Let me know down below. I really like what I've done. The two left feet don't bother me all that much, because my attention doesn't get drawn down to its feet. The figure now also matches the reference images quite nicely. I do like the expression on the serious head, but I don't think it fits that chaotic look of Knull. I personally prefer the face with the teeth. It's just so much more intense. It's an expression not a lot of characters can pull off. The sword also looks pretty good. It looks a bit more lively. Not sure if that's the right word to describe it. Like you can almost see the tendrils moving. Before I end this video with a photo shoot, I just want to share where I've been getting some of my figures, including this Knull and Venom 2-pack. I've been purchasing my figures from Toy Snowman for a while now, such as the entire Love and Thunder wave, the Black and Gold Spider-Man, the Astro Strange aka Sinister Strange figure, and a couple other pre-orders. The main reason why I recommend Toy Snowman is because they offer free shipping to the US and Canada for orders above a certain threshold. And you can make multiple orders and have them shipped later for free once you hit that threshold. You can learn more on the FAQ page. This isn't a sponsored video. They did not pay me to say any of this. It's just that I recently visited the store in Montreal and picked up a few figures, and they're so nice and friendly. I saw that they still have a couple of Scarlet Witches available at regular price. Overall, I've enjoyed my experience shopping there, so I want to support my fellow Canadians. If you're interested in checking them out, I do have a referral code you can use. Use my code to sign up and you'll get a 5% coupon. And I highly recommend taking advantage of the free shipping by either ordering above the threshold or use the ship it later feature. Alright, let's end this with a photo shoot. I'm testing a different lighting. It's a bit harsher than before. I like how the armor catches the light. The highlights is bringing out all the finer details. The only thing I don't love is the skirt. Visually, it's great that it hides the hip joints, but it is too restricting. I can't recreate his sitting on the throne pose because of it. The serious face isn't bad. I like that it's not a completely neutral expression. But the other face is just so much more sinister. I love this head. It's so demonic looking. I think it fits Knull's look much better, especially with the sword. That face just works so well with the sword. These poses are pretty basic, but that expression just works. Look at this pose. I had a lot of fun taking photos of Knull with a sword. Give it a like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. I'll be working on Venom next week. Check out Toy Snowman and use my referral code if you're interested. And as always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.